last Seedforum in New York. And after this, I would say, story has become a tremendous success. So this is the bragging story. Stian Lyston, 24/7 office. Welcome back to Seedforum.
Thank you. Yes, thank you for having me, Stanner. But I would also like to say thank you for helping my company, and actually all my companies, raising money. And I think you also deserve an applause for everything you've done to hundreds of companies during the last 20 years. It's amazing. So today I would like to share a little bit of my experience raising money, and I'd also like to talk a little bit about how you can get the most out of Seedforum, which we have really done. But before that, I would like to talk a little bit about myself and my experience. I started 24/7 office 20 years ago, more than 20 years ago. And that has been quite good success. We have now 33,000 businesses. I moved almost 2 years ago to the US and brought my family here to establish 24/7 office in the US. And I am soon ready to launch. So for months I'll talk to you, hopefully. Our goal is to save like 50% of the manual work you're actually doing today. We're using AI, we're using integrations, we're using top-notch technology, which I haven't seen here in the US with any competitors. So I think that will be a game changer for accountants all over the United States. Okay, I think I sent you the wrong. Did I send you the wrong presentation, or
This is all I have from you. You have another one, we can fix that.
Yeah. So I have another one. I can do it without the presentation as well. So.
Okay. Anyway, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, and also a serial entrepreneur. Started several companies, mostly tech companies. Started PwC Accounting, the company which is now PwC Accounting. Started Oyatel, IP company, NetClient, KeyTouch Technology, B-Mobile, Ergo, a collector company, and also started a brewery actually. And also been working as an angel investor, a seed investor, for the last like 15 years, and invested in 30 companies. Those companies altogether have raised more than $50 million. So I think I'm quite experienced to talk about this process that you're going through, the startups here. And what I'd like to talk a little bit more about is actually the effect of Seedforum, because we were one of the first companies that ever presented the Seedforum. I think it was 2005, and we were named the best investment opportunity from the investors in Seedforum, and that gave us quite a lot of press in Norway. I have a picture of that. Sorry you can't see that. That gave us the attention that we needed to raise money. So that was the start for our growth in 24/7 office. And Seedforum was a tremendous help, not only to gain that attention, but the training that we had with learning how to present, how to have the elevator pitch, how to think, how the investor think. That was a really great help for us at that time. Because what I see is that I see a lot of companies coming to me as a seed investor or they want me as a partner, whatever. And I see that the presentation lacks so much of the important basic stuff. And then again, Seedforum, spot on, everything you need, at least the minimum that you need. That's so important. You might need to add something which is important for your business, but at least you have to have the minimum. Or else, we receive like 20, 30 business proposals a month, and other investors even receive thousands. Large one in the US. So it has to be spot on, and you have to have the information because you don't have the time to follow up everything. So I think that's alone worth the time and the money to participate in Seedforum. It's really, really important, based on both my own experience and what I see among other investors. It's important to meet investors, but I think Seedforum is not all about meeting investors. It's also important to meet all kinds of business people. And when you go to an event like this, it's important to also focus on everyone, the advisors, the business angels, other business people, because you never know who leads to the next investment. So my advice is also not only focus on the investors, it might be just as important to talk to the advisors and the business angels. I have some examples as a business angel myself. There was an entrepreneur who came to me and wanted me to invest in his company and wanted to make very exclusive wooden bathtubs. To do that, he needed a very advanced robot, to carve all these things, heavy stuff. And he wanted me to invest, and he offered me, for a few million, he offered us 30% of the company. And what I said, what if I have that robot? And I did. I had that robot in another company, and you could use it in the beginning on the spare time of that robot because it's not running all the time. And he ended up raising capital and using the robot and producing his bathtubs, and he was diluted 10% instead of 30%. And I've got shares for free, kind of. And that's how the business angels work. It's good for the investor. It's good for us. And I have several, examples like that. For instance, entrepreneurs come to me and say, we need, a certain amount of money because we need to sell and earn money and do marketing and build a sales team, etc. And I said, okay, I have 33,000 customers in 24/7 office, business customers, exactly the same customers you need. So, if I gave you access to those customers, you can be a module within 24/7 office, etc. What do we get then? That's how I ended up as an owner in the Oyatel IP company, because then they got access to our customers and we got shares. So it's so important to really talk to business angels and see if you can find some common ground. They can help you with resources, contacts, network, all sorts. It's also important with advisors. I've had the pleasure of having a lot of good advisors, lawyers, people raising capital, accountants. It's super important to find the good ones. And if you find the good ones, they will be a tremendous help. But I also want to make a short point, and that's they're not always right about your business. So you also have to be able to follow your gut feelings sometimes. And I have to have an example of that as well. We wanted to list our daughter company, not the mother company. And every advisor we talked to, and we talked to advisors, I think 20 of them, for 20 of them over a year. Everybody told us you can't list the daughter company. You have to list the mother company, but we wanted to list the daughter company. We thought that makes more sense. They told us no, and they also told us that if we do, the stock will be completely dead. Nobody wants to trade there. But finally we managed to convince one of them, and we did it. And now we know that during the listing process, the share was oversubscribed 100%. So we tried to raise 40 million, and the oversubscription was 80 million. And when we listed the company, the stock price has now, during the last 12 months, gone 50% on quite good trading volumes, according to the size of the company as well. So it's also, it's very important. There's a lot of good advice in advisors, but do not forget to follow your own gut feeling sometimes, and don't let them, stop doing your magic as well. So, I think that was all I had. Thank you. Sorry for not having the right presentation. So I sent it this morning. Probably too tired this morning.